guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I would love for you to stick around. Today's video is going to be basically a full coverage, sweat-proof, waterproof, summer-proof foundation routine. This is not going to be like a look that you want to wear every day. I mean, if you do, more power to you, but it's not something that I want to wear every day. There's a lot of layers, it's a lot of powder, it's a lot of product because you want it to last all day. I know that like in the summer with the heat and humidity, I personally sweat a lot from my face. Like I won't sweat from anywhere else on my body but my face, and it has actually become like one of my anxieties because like I hate that I'll sweat from my face. Like I wish I was one of those people that would sweat under my armpits or like sweat somewhere else, but I sweat on my face and it's always like the bridge of my nose, my forehead, like my T-zone basically. So like my forehead, bridge of my nose, and like upper lip around my mouth area. So I hate it, and it can make it really hard to wear like a full face of foundation in the summertime because obviously if your face is like hot and sweaty and you have a bunch of product on there, the probability of it like breaking up on your face is gonna be high. So this is just like a routine that I have done. I wore this routine to Dan's brother's wedding, and my makeup lasted from like 10 a.m. when I got ready until like 2 a.m. when I got home. So it lasted all day, and his wedding was May 22nd and it was like 89 degrees. So it is sweat-proof, waterproof, that kind of thing, but again, there's a lot of layers. So it may not be for everybody, but if you are someone like me who sweats on your face, this is what I do. Okay, anyways, that was like the longest intro ever. We're gonna get right into it. You want to prep your skin first. I'm gonna spray my face with the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. Just gives it a little bit of moisture right off the bat. Because we're using a lot of product, you really wanna make sure that you have a hydrated base. So this is the Clinique Moisture Surge 96-hour Hydro Filler Concentrate. Not my favorite product, but I did purchase it, so I'm gonna use the rest of it. Use whatever eye cream you like, but you just, again, you wanna make sure that you are moisturized. So I'm gonna put that under my eyes and kind of like around my entire eye area. All right, then I am going to use the Ordinary Buffet. This is a multi-technology peptide serum. This is just part of like my morning skincare routine. I absolutely love it. Any product from The Ordinary I freaking love. That's my entire skincare routine is from them, besides my moisturizer, or like my nighttime moisturizer, but I just love it. So I just put a bunch of drops all over my face, rub it in. All over. I know it may sound weird because you may be thinking like, well, if I want my makeup to last all day, like I don't want to be adding all of this like moisture, but trust me, when you're layering products and using all this powder and that kind of thing, you want your skin to still feel like skin underneath, even though you've got a shit ton of product on. All right, so then I'm gonna go right into my moisturizer. This is the Estee Lauder Day Wear Multi-Protection Antioxidant 24-Hour Moisture Cream. A little sample that I got. I like it so far. I don't know that I would buy it, but I do like it. And I'm just gonna rub it in. All right, so that is the skin prep that I do. In my opinion, like the priming is one of the most important parts, especially when you want something to last all day. So now I will spray my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. That's kind of like what I'm starting my priming with. I don't like the smell of this. Anybody else? I feel like the smell of this smells like baby wipes in a way. I don't like it. I like to mix a few primers. I just always have. I usually like a pore filling primer and then also like a sticky primer to really grasp my makeup. So this again is a primer I got when I bought a foundation. This is the Estee Lauder, the Smoother Universal Perfecting Primer Base. I really like this. I will probably purchase this once I run out. It's a little baby sample, but it's really good. All right, I just use like a pea-sized amount. And I like that right here, the center of my face, really. Kind of where I sweat, where my pores are a little bit larger. Really push it in. And then I will go right over top of that with like a sticky primer. This is e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I'll take a couple pumps of this, like 1.5, and go over the entire face of this. And it does give you a nice like sticky base. Another primer I really like is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I really like that a little bit more than this e.l.f. one, but the e.l.f. one's just what I have and it has worked. It's what I used. See, it is sticky. Like you can see my fingers sticking. And then I will actually set that again with more setting spray. I live for setting spray. I just think it really does its job. So another spray of that before foundation. Okay, the foundation that I live and die for on days where I want my foundation to last a long time, special occasions, things like that, is Estee Lauder Double Wear. I have not found a better foundation that lasts all day, looks airbrushed and flawless all throughout the day. I live for this stuff. So I have mine in the shade 3N1. It also came with a little pump this time, which is nice because when I first started using this product, it just is like a pour out bottle. So I will pump some of this. I'm gonna take my engagement ring off so it doesn't get dirty. And this is my dad bracelet. One of you guys actually sent this to me in my P.O. box and I am obsessed with it. It just is like a little white and gold bracelet and it says dad on it. But I'm gonna take it off so it doesn't get dirty. Okay, here we go with foundation. So I will pump some of this on the back of my hand, like 3 pumps there. Take a foundation brush and start putting this on my skin. Making sure to blend down the neck. I like to use a foundation brush just to apply it. And then when I blend it out, I'll use a wet sponge, but I like to really make sure that I'm not missing any areas, and I feel like a foundation brush is just a little bit more precise. So now that I have that on, I will use a damp sponge. This is a Real Technique sponge, and just blend this in, pushing it into my skin. I'm not sure what that was. Blending down the neck. I love this foundation. It's, again, like my holy grail. High-end foundation. It just looks so flawless and the lasting power is so nice. It is a more matte foundation, but I think that is what helps it last so long. And then you can obviously add in dewiness back into the skin in other ways, but it just lasts so long. Now on areas where I know my skin will sweat and my foundation will break up, I do add about a half a pump more foundation and give that like another layer. So that is, for me, it's the bridge of my nose, like my chin area, my upper lip, and my hairline. And then I'll just blend this in again. It's really all about like building layers so that if something does start to sweat, it has to get through more layers to break it up. That's what I do. That is my thinking. Someone could be like screaming at their computer right now, like, what are you talking about? But that's just what works for me. All right. So you've got prep, prime, foundation on. Now I will go in with concealer. My holy grail concealer right now is the Morphe. It is the Morphe, I'm not sure because the name of the product isn't on the packaging. It's the Morphe concealer. It looks like that. I love these concealers so much, especially under my eyes. They do not crease on me, they're just perfect. I have the shade C225 and 125. C125. Ooh, this one matches my skin a little bit more. And I just go ahead and put that under my eyes. I kind of mix a few things here, but you'll see in a second. I put a layer on my chin, bridge of my nose, a little bit on my lip, upper lip. And then if I were to have any like dark spots that were still peeking through from the foundation, I would put some of this color concealer on top of that. I will also use the LA Girl Pro Conceal Corrector in the shade Peach Corrector. For some of the more like stubborn colors I have in my under eyes, I have a lot of veining here and darkness, so I like to just add a little bit of peach to help conceal and correct so my concealer doesn't have to work so hard. If you guys have any products that you love also for like full coverage days, or like days where you know you're gonna be outside all day or like whatever, let me know because I love trying new stuff, especially if it's like sweat proof, waterproof, like anything like that, I love. But these all just blend out like a dream. These concealers are so good to me, I love them. Alright, so now that that is blended out, I will use a lighter color to highlight under my eyes. You guys know I love a light under eye. I love adding that little bit of brightness. I don't put this everywhere. I just kind of like to put it, again, where I get a lot of darkness. I will put some on my chin, a little bit more on my nose, and then right in the middle of my forehead. And this part I like to let sit a little while, especially the part under my nose. I will blend out like the chin, under my nose, under my eyes. I will blend out the chin and the forehead and then let everything else sit there for a second. While I'm letting it sit, I'll get my powder ready that I'm gonna set under my eyes with. This has been something that I recently discovered, but I freaking love it. It is the Huda Beauty powder, Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I have it in the shade Sugar Cookie, which is just a translucent color. I freaking love this powder. Like, I love it. I love it. I still will use my Airspun extra coverage powder to set the rest of my face, but I love the way this looks under the eyes. It never ever looks too dry to me. So I'm gonna get this ready. And by ready, I mean just like pour it out in the top so that it's ready to apply. Now that I've let that sit for about a minute, I am gonna go ahead and start blending it in. If you let your concealer sit, it just lets it get a little bit more full coverage. It dries down a little bit. And yeah, just like lets it get a little bit more full coverage, which I like. All right, then immediately I will use a different sponge. This is also from Real Techniques. I believe it is their powder sponge. It has more of like a velvet texture. Mine's filthy, but you know. And I don't wet this. I have noticed that this Huda Beauty powder does not apply as nicely with a wet sponge. It definitely looks better, works better with a dry sponge. So just dip my sponge in there, pick up the powder, and then stamp. It on. I always set my eyelids as well, even if I'm not doing especially if I'm not doing eyeshadow. But I don't really, I'm not an eyeshadow girl, you guys know this. But I do conceal my eyelids so that I get that nice neutral base. And setting them just helps that not crease either. Okay, so I like to let that sit there for a little while. I will cream contour now using the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer. This one is in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I like to use a brush to blend this in. And I will go back over that with my sponge, but I like to blend it in at first with like a little brush. And now it looks wild. But now if you just use your sponge that has like a little bit of foundation left and you press it into the skin. I'm gonna dust this powder away now. But powder is amazing. I'm not even kidding. It's so good. It is so good. So now we're working with this. The under eyes still look a little bit bright, but again, that's what I like, and I like it to be bright, and then I like add, you know, my blush, my bronzer, that kind of thing. I'll do my brows now, which is not part of my foundation routine, so I'm just gonna do them off camera. Okay, now I'll set the rest of my face with my Airspun powder. I just put some in the cap, take a powder brush, dip some in. It's just like a light dusting that I like to do. And I just like swirl this around. Make sure to get that hairline. And the nose as well. Actually, I'm gonna bake my nose. So I'll use that same powder brush with the Airspun powder and bake this part of my nose. Because again, this is where I will sweat. Things will start to break up. I know I look crazy right now, but just trust the process. The next thing I will do is bronze my skin. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay bronzer. It's in the shade Park Ave Princess. It's waterproof, so again, great for long wear, great for sweating, just works everywhere the sun would hit. So especially the, you know, the forehead. I love bronzer on the forehead. I love the way it looks. You don't want to use too much force either, just always, not just when you're like using long wear products, but you just don't want to like push and like do that. You just want to like lightly blend. You don't want to disturb products. You just want to make sure everything is in a cohesive manner. I'll bring the bronzer down my neck a little bit. All these little baby hairs. For blush, I like the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Powder blushes. They're very long wearing. They stay on all day for me. At the end of the day, you can still see my blush, which I love. Blush is like one of my favorite parts. This one is in the shade That Peach though. It's definitely my favorite blush, as you can see. It's just very pretty. Put it on the cheeks. I love blush, guys, seriously. I know I always say that, but like if I ever were to come out with my own makeup product, it'd probably be a blush. Okay. I like to contour my nose a little bit too, so I'll just go back to that same bronzer I used from Tarte. Take a little domed brush, tap the powder off, and then I always go on the back of my hand, as you can see, and take a little bit more of that powder off. Then I'll dust all of the rest of the powder off of my nose and give my face one more like little blendy. And then I will set my face again with the same all-nighter spray. Sometimes I'll take a fan. This is like a little electric fan, and help to dry the setting spray. Add some mascara and some lip gloss, and I will be right back to finish. I'm back. The last step is highlight and another round of setting spray. This is Ofra Rodeo Drive. It is a little, you can tell that it's definitely my favorite. It's falling apart. But I'll take it in like above my eyebrows a little bit, middle of my forehead. This is how you bring back that like dewy look without breaking up your makeup. And then I'll take a smaller brush for the bridge of my nose. I'm gonna go back to my good old little multi-stipply brush. This is from Luxie. It's the Luxie 516 Duo Fiber Powder Brush. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm, I'm sure I did. Or like an Ipsy back in the day. But I love like a duo fiber brush to blend things on your face. Alright guys. That is basically it. That literally, this will last me all freaking day, all night, like whatever. And then I will keep a compact powder in my purse wherever I'm going, just in case I need to touch it up. I usually don't have to. Again, I did the entire wedding. It was outside for pictures. It was like 90 degrees and my face stayed. So I will spray my face one more time, give it that final spray. And that is it, guys. That is how I get my foundation and face to stay all day despite the heat, despite the humidity, despite sweating. It's basically waterproof too, so if you were gonna go swimming, which I don't know why you'd put makeup on to go swimming, but if you did, it would last you. Yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If there are any products that I'm like missing and you guys have some like holy grails for the face, please let me know because I love to try them. I'll leave everything for the face that I used in the description box down below. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.